Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nirmawati. I am the student of English Education Department in program Pasca Sarjana at State University of Makassar. I from the class, especially in Tuna group in Discourse Analysis subject. Now, I'm going to present about the discourse analysis of the transcriptions of the conversation in Mandiri Bank. There are 4 items that I will discuss. The first is introductions, the second is discourse analysis features, and the third is Grice Maxims of implicatures, and the last is the transcripts. The first item is introductions. One of the member of Tuna group, Nirmawati, and that's me, had taken the recording in the Mandiri Bank on Tuesday, 23rd February 2021. The duration of the recording is 7 minutes and 4 seconds. The recording or the transcript tells us about the conversations between the customer service and the customer. They was talking about the AXA Mandiri insurance for customer who has credit of 200 million and above. My friends and I from Tuna Group had done the analysis. The first thing that we do is we are writing the transcript of the recording, and then we determining the signs, the right sign for it, and then we determining the features and the Grice maxim of implicatures itself. Next, this is the second items that I will discuss. It is the discourse analysis features. There are 7. The first is cohesions, grammatical relationship between parts of a sentence essential for its interpretations. The second is coherence. The order of statements relates one another by sense. And the third is intentionality, means the message has to be conveyed deliberately and consciously. And the fourth is acceptability. It means that indicates the communicative product needs to be satisfactory in that the audience approves it. And the fifth is informativeness. Some new information has to be included in the discourse. And the sixth, situationality. You can simply impress your audience and add a unique signs and appeal to your presentations. And the last is intertextuality, means reference to the world outside the text or the interpret schemata. Next, this is the third item that I will discuss. This is Grice maxim of implicature. There are 4. The first is quantity. Make your contribution as informative as required. And the second is quality. Do not say what you believe to be false. Do not say that for which you lack adequate evidence. And the third is relations, means be relevant. And the last manner is avoid ambiguity, avoid obscurity of expression. And the last item is the transcript. In this transcript, there are 5 conversations that I will discuss. This is the first conversations, And from these conversations, we find two features. The first is the features of intentionality. The way A asking a questions to C show the features of intentionality because A purposely and clearly asking when was the last time C took credit in Mandiri. And the second feature of situationality show in turn 3 when C said 2 tahun yang lalu because it means that the time when she took the credit. And from this conversation, we find the maxim of manner. We can see in the statement 2 tahun yang lalu. This is maxim of manner because the answer was clear and avoid ambiguity for the listener. Next, this is the second conversations. And from these conversations, we find three features. The first, features of intentionality. The way A asking a question and to C show the features of intentionality because A purposely asks whether or not Firman had explained about Mandiri savings. And the second, features of coherence show in turn 8. Yep. And when A say tunggu, and sabar ya, because that is C must wait, and it is understood by both parties or both speakers. And the last, features of informativeness show in turn 8. We can see this is tabungan Aksa Mandiri, and in the turn 10, the bitter. Because that words are something new to know. And as we know, tabungan Aksa Mandiri or Aksa Mandiri savings is a mandatory health insurance for certain debtors. And for the bitter or debtors is a person who have a loan in a bank. And from these conversations, we find the maxim of quality. A was orderly asked to see about Mandiri savings. Ini sudah dijelaskan sama Firman kah yang tabungan Aksa Mandiri belum? And the word belum is maxim of quality because it was clearly said the truth and there was no ambiguity. Next, this is the third conversations, and from these conversations we find the features of acceptability. Yeah, the words that be said above in turn 37, kalau 3 bulan berarti 450 per 3 bulan, and 39 karena per 3 bulan Ki membayar ini, show the features of acceptability, and it proves by the statement of A in turn 41, ya betul-betul, because A admit that was true and accept the statement of B. Next, the fourth, conversations. In this conversation, there are 3 features. The first is features of intentionality. We can see in the turn 55 and 57 show the features of intentionality because A purposely asking a questions to B. And then the second, features of coherence show in turn 55, anu means questions, and both A or B understood the meaning of it. And the last, features of intertextuality show in turn 57, yang saya jelaskan dapat Cipa, means the information that have been explained previously has been understood. This is followed by the statement Y from C. And from these conversations, we find two maxims. The first is maxim of quantity, show in turn 56, which is the utterance Y itu tadi. B, try to make a contribution, one that is enough information and that made us still confused. So A acts again. And the last maxim of relation. So in term 56, itu G tadi. Because that's relate with the conversations before and the previous information that have been talking about. Next, this is the last conversations, and from these conversations we find the maxim of quality, show in turn 69, cuma 600.000, because it was clearly said the truth and there was no ambiguity. And from this conversation we find the features of situationality, show in turn 71 per malam, because it means that the time when Aksa Mandiri Insurance paid the cost of each night. That's all the presentations about the discourse analysis of the transcriptions of the conversation in Mandiri Bank. I hope these discussions will useful and benefit for all of you. Thank you so much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.